finding time to fit in fitness is so important, but your mental health is just as important.
Yeah, here today to talk about how to make you a priority is relationship expert Dr. Argie. Dr. Argie, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's good to be here. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we are privileged to have you here, and you know, Regina and I, we are both moms to little kids, and so this idea of putting ourselves first or making time for ourselves, it feels selfish. So how do we, is it selfish? And how do we get past that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Self-preservation is actually one of the most important things that we as women can do for ourselves. And we need to think about how do we do that in a way that's not only healthy for us, but healthy for other people, like saying no, for example. We got to be able to say no, it's not a bad word, so that we can say yes to ourselves. And also being able to not say yes to things we don't want to do just because we think other people are going to feel guilty or we're going to be feeling guilty about it, right? Help ourselves to help other people, because if we're filled up and we're taking good care of ourselves, then other people get the overflow, but they don't get energy from the reservoir when we have nothing left to give.
So you talk about taking care of ourselves. What does that look like? I have no idea. I really don't, because since I had a child, it's like I have no idea where to go with that.
Well, listen, you've got to learn to like and love yourself enough to make you a priority. So what does that look like? It looks like maybe gratitude, right? Having a gratitude journal or being focused on practicing gratitude. That's good for the mind, body, and spirit. It means that we need to see the glass as half full versus half empty, but also just having a gratitude journal helps us to focus on coping skills for our stressors, which we all have, right? And then being able to increase our self-esteem and our self-worth, because we look at our journal and we say, wow, we have a whole lot to feel grateful for, and we can focus on more of what we can have and what we do have versus what we don't have.
I think one big stressor is sometimes in the work environment you have people who you don't really vibe with, or maybe people who you feel like take your energy. How do you deal with those folks?
Yeah, you know what? I tend to say, put your oxygen mask on first. Well, what does that really look like? Sometimes it looks like moving you away from the negative energy, because a lot of times people have toxic energy, they don't even know it, right? And then being unapologetic about developing oneself and putting good energy out into the universe. What we put out is what comes back to us. So whether you're in the workplace or your home, move away from the negative energy and move away from the internal haters, because sometimes it's not the people on the outside, it's the thinking on the inside that kind of does us in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is it just like, say for me, separating myself from the hater, just walking away, or do I have to have some kind of confrontation with this said hater?
Well, listen, here's the thing, Shirley. Every confrontation does not have to be confrontational, right? And I like to say, have the courageous conversation. So people want to kind of have approach avoidance. They don't want to deal with that. But you can say to somebody in the water cooler or a coworker, you know what? The energy that I'm feeling, it doesn't feel right. It feels like we've got something between us. I know you're
so aggressive. It's like, you know what? I don't like your energy. Stay away from my water cooler.
Or you could say it very assertively, saying like, you know what? I think you have so many gifts to offer, and I'd love to hear some of the positive energy that I know is inside of you. Can we work on that together? So it doesn't have to be negative. It can be positive. And quite frankly, if the person's like, you know what? I'm not feeling that at all, then maybe that's a person that you need to kind of delete from the experience.
I need to focus on just carving out the me time first. So let me start there.
And then we'll maybe talk to you later about how we approach those conversations with people that are both friends and acquaintances.
Yeah. It's strategic, right? We've got to develop skill, and we got to be able to get in it, right, to win it. And that's win it for us and the relationship, if it's worth it.
Such good advice, Dr. Argie. We ran out of time, but we are going to have you back if you would love to come back.
Absolutely. Self-care, right?
Yes.
Self-care.
All right. That's the focus. 2019.
#self-care.
There you go.